What is one of the biggest things keeping you from chipping away at your wedding film edits? I polled a few of my wedding industry friends and a lot of them said distractions. So today I'm going to give you some of my tips and tricks on how I avoid the dreaded distractions. Hey guys, my name is Heather and I have edited hundreds of wedding films, and for me, one of my biggest distractions is social media, and social media. We've all been there. We are in the zone, editing away, and we see this notification pop up in the right-hand corner of the screen. Studies show that every time you check your email, a social feed, or respond to a notification, your mind requires 23 minutes to refocus back on the task. So what can we do to stop these distractions from interrupting our flow? One of the biggest things that has helped me, especially since I have an iPhone 5 still, and it has the battery life of like 2 minutes. I have to keep it pretty much on the charger all day. So instead of having it right beside me, I typically have it in the other room. Now, another tip I have is simply just putting your phone in airplane mode. Then nobody can bug you. Well, what if you have kids, or what if you have someone that you feel needs to be able to get a hold of you? I'll get to that in a few minutes. Now, my next tip is simply turning off the Wi-Fi on your computer. Now, personally, this one was a little hard for me in the beginning. You have to make sure that everything that you typically would need off the internet, off of it before you do this. There are some websites out there like Freedom where it will actually turn off all notifications for you. And if you're like me and you try to sneak in a little bit of procrastination by checking your email, it will set up roadblocks, which actually has seemed to help me a lot. Now this kind of leads into my next tip. I really feel that if you really want to chip away at your edits, you need to schedule your editing time. You need to pick those days and times during the week that you know you can sit down for a good chunk of time and edit. This is especially useful if you're like me and you're a mom and you know that you have only certain windows of time to get your work done. Once you have these windows of opportunity set up and scheduled, the next thing you need to do, or what has really helped me, is editing and time blocks. What I typically do is I'll set up a timer, usually on my computer, and what you want to do is you want to be able to edit in 1 hour blocks and then take maybe a 15-minute break. Make sure you schedule those breaks too, because if you're like me and you end up taking the time during your breaks to hop on over to social media, you know what that's like. You say, I'm gonna do this for 15 minutes, and next thing you know, an hour of time has passed by. So make sure you stick to those time blocks, make sure you time them, and when that timer goes off, make sure you get back to work. Now, if you took the time to actually put your phone in airplane mode and you need to make sure that no one important is trying to get a hold of you, you can use your breaks to check and make sure that no one's trying to get a hold of you. I will occasionally, when I'm getting on an editing roll, edit past the hour mark. That's not the issue. If you get on a roll, just keep going. You don't have to stop to take a break. However, I do encourage you to make sure you stick to those time limits when taking a break. Those are my tips on how you can avoid some of the dreaded distractions. Do you have any tips that you would like to share? If so, please do so by sharing in the comments below. I would love to hear your tips and tricks on how to avoid distractions. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. And if you like this film, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe, and I will see you next time.